Hi, I'm Jane King, and this is New to the Street, in person back here at the NASDAQ market site in New York City. This show is all about public, private blockchain companies, the CEOs, the founders, and the innovators, bringing you lots of opportunities to consider. Here we go. Welcome to Unstoppable Women Entrepreneurs. I'm Jane King, and with me is Rhonda Swan, who is also an Unstoppable Women Entrepreneur. And we've got with us another woman today, Kate McKay, high performance coach, consultant for men in high-level positions. You help corporate teams build confidence and work best in their organization. So welcome, Kate, and tell us more about your work and what you're doing exactly when you're coaching men with these corporations.
Yes, I love that. It's a great question. So I work predominantly with individuals and corporations, and as a high performance coach, a lot of times they come to me concerned around productivity and profitability. That's normally what people, I'm not feeling productive, our company isn't profitable, especially during these times. And so what I found is the high performance habits, there are 6. One of them is productivity. So we have to start with getting clear on what our message is and also our energy. Like, how are we using our energy physically, emotionally, and mentally? These are all key components. Our personal development and our professional development actually have to be matched. We can't just measure our performance by how successful we are. We also have to look at our personal development. And if there's a gap, our success is only going to be at that middle ground. So we really have to look at those habits. It's science-backed, outcome-based, and the system really works, and it's very exciting to see the outcome.
Interesting.
Love it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, think about the companies that are going to change because of your work. Now, I do know that you recently launched a book, right? Claim Your Inner Warrior. And that does focus on men, part of the work that you're already doing right now in corporations. However, I think this one's a bit more special. When you talk a bit about your book and how that is being used in your work every day?
I appreciate you asking that.
Yeah.
So Claim Your Inner Warrior, it's especially for men, and it's dedicated to the warriors out there. And one particular warrior is my son, William, who passed away in 2017. So as his friends describe it, he ascended on his own accord. He took his own life in 2017. So after that, it's like, what is that meaning in my life after losing a child and going through that grief process? And I was writing a column, and I wrote an article about how men express grief and loss. And I was so moved by the number of men that reached out to me that said, Kate, you're talking directly to me. And I was like, oh. And I just felt like that is the reason why I'm here. I'm here to help men embrace their warrior. And that means personally understanding, giving them language to their emotion. Men are different in the way they communicate. And I believe that we need to validate that. And I celebrate that. It's a huge part of my work. I'm very fortunate to do what I do. I'm deeply grateful.
So Kate, tell me, are there any challenges in working particularly with men?
Well, I would say I laugh about that because oftentimes women are like, you work with men or you write a book for men? Like, people are confused. And so the first thing I say is I was a gym rat. I was in the gym in the 80s when no women were there. I mean, now it's very normal, like the gyms are full of women. But when I first started going into a gym, it was like the 10 to 20%. Women didn't lift weights. It was shunned. And I'm also one of 9 kids. I have 5 brothers. And so I'm used to that male energy. And I'm comfortable with it. It feels like Home Depot over like a bead store. I get anxiety in a bead store. So I'm just used to men. And I have to tell you this one short story. I had a friend and I was saying, all right, see you later. And he was going through challenges. And I said to him, I have your back, bud. I have your back. And he looked at me like this. And a couple minutes later, he texted me and said, Kate, no woman has ever said, I have your back. Right. And I was shocked, and that is the reason why I get up every day, is that everyone deserves to be seen. My work is in transformation. I'm committed to helping people be their best in all areas of our life. I'm deeply committed, and it's wonderful. And the results are massive. High performance is, again, outcome-based. It's science-backed, and I absolutely love what I do. And it makes a big difference in people's lives.
Thank you so much, Kate. What a great story.
Being here,
Thank you.
Kate.
Coastal Capital focuses on equipment-based lending, lines of credit, and working capital. I founded my company based on the belief of partnerships. If we didn't have partnerships and trust and relationships, nothing would move forward. We really like to get to know the core of the client. We want to know who we're working with. We believe in a story, and that's why we call ourselves a story time lender. Coastal Capital is financing you can trust.
Soho Properties is a Manhattan-based, privately held real estate development and investment firm founded in 2003 by Sharif El-Gamal, and the properties do include the Margaritaville Hotel in Times Square, as well as residential apartments. And with me to tell me more about Soho Properties is Sharif El-Gamal. Great to have you here.
Good morning. Very, very excited to be here with you.
So let's talk about just your business in general, property development. You've had billions of transactions. So explain to me how the industry looks to you right now.
I think we are right now at an inflection point in the real estate markets globally, and we've obviously leapfrogged into the future with the advent of COVID and right now with inflation and interest rates, and so we're really at an inflection point where from our perspective at Soho Properties, we think this is one of the most important times in history to really start looking very closely at hard assets and real estate.
Now, inflation, has that impacted you, or what about like wage inflation and hiring people?
Absolutely. The markets are extremely competitive. But I think even before inflation, unfortunately, this generation, is gotten, I don't want to use the word lazy, but I think
they have different priorities.
They have a different work ethic. They want to work from home. I think they needed a recession to wake them up. I think that a recession the recession that we're having is important because it's really going to smack some of these kids and let them realize that they can't work from home, that the human interactions that we're having, you can't do that over a phone call or over a Zoom meeting or over a Google Meet meeting. It's, there's no substitute for that. It's challenging. I mean, it's just very challenging with the new mindset of the new generation, and I think that the inflationary period that we're in also right now has just further. It's like the perfect storm. It's like there's a storm that we're in the middle of, and we just don't understand. There's a lot of new things that we are all experiencing in all markets right now that are kind of interconnected.
Yeah, no, it definitely feels like there's some tectonic changes going on. I just don't know how it's all going to play out.
Right.
But Sharif, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for having me.
Margaritaville's a great hotel, so
thank you. Thank you.
SKUR, the true solution for your digital privacy and security. SKUR is a private and secure messaging and email solution hosted in Switzerland, using proprietary military-grade encryption and Swiss privacy laws, giving you true privacy. SKUR doesn't collect or sell your data and doesn't require your phone number or any personal data that hackers target. You can message and email non-secure users privately without the need for others to download SKUR. Visit SKUR.com. Regain and protect your privacy today.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to your Secure Privacy and Security segment. I'm Anna Berry, along with Alain Ghiai, CEO of Sekur Private Data. How you doing, Alain?
Hi, Anna. Can I say something? Happy Switzerland Day. August 1st is our national holiday, and we've been around for 731 years defending free speech and libertarianism. So it started with three little canton that were defending themselves against the Habsburg family, and now it's a wonderful country. So happy Switzerland Day to everyone out there who values freedom of speech, neutrality, and basically privacy, which is what we're all about.
Amen to that. How do you celebrate in Switzerland for your day?
We have like a zillion things we do. First of all, we eat. That's really important. So we got barbecues. We have the cowbells going. We eat cheese. We celebrate. We have fireworks the night before and the night during. So it's kind of relaxing. You go out. 70% of Switzerland's population lives in the mountain, in rural areas. So yeah, we celebrate, good food. And, just enjoying the nice weather in Switzerland. And we eat good food too, obviously, and chocolate. Switzerland is, even though they're famous for chocolate, it doesn't mean they're the most consumers, but they consume 11 kilos, about 23 pounds of chocolate a year, and we're still quite healthy. It's got one of the longest lifespan of people on earth. And, we really value people's privacy. We respect other people's privacy, and we will continue to do so. Thank God we don't have any EU regulation coming to Switzerland, which is kind of nice. So yeah, we just celebrate, just like on July 4th, you have your barbecue and your fireworks. It's not much different in Switzerland.
Wonderful. Well, congratulations. And that's exactly what we're talking about on our segments here, the weekly hack. Specifically today, we're going to talk about the MFA and the 2FA. I recently tried to log in to a new health plan, and they asked if I wanted 2FA. And I always say yes, but I want to talk to you about that specifically today, because an article we're talking about, Microsoft researchers, they uncovered a massive phishing campaign that's happening a lot these days, and they can steal credentials even if a user has an MFA or the 2FA, and they did, and they attempted to compromise more than 10,000 organizations. So what can we do to make sure our data is private and secure?
So the thing, MFA is multiple factor authentication, and 2FA is two-factor authentication. A lot of time people will see we need to send you a text to verify this, and then you put the digits on the text, and that's like a way to verify that it's you. It's never fail-safe. First of all, most of that is the 2FA thing is done with phone. So when they send you a text and all of the phones have been compromised and phone numbers can be basically bought, somebody can just phish and sniff you and all of these things and basically try to spy on you and find out what you're logging into. The email phishing, what happened is it basically tricks you to maybe give away your password or give away something, obviously. And that's when they have your credentials. It's a way of stealing and tricking you to give away any kind of credential, whether it's a username or a phone number, and eventually the machines put two and two together. We don't use 2FA. We're going to have to implement it because people are comfortable with that. Ideally, I know this from a decade ago, some scientists told me you should just put sentences, but sentences that don't have anything to do with your activity. So if you're like golfing, don't put anything related to golf. Obviously, if you're on social media and you have any content there, don't use a password related to what you put on social media. So it's really hard. I would use what we're trying to do. We needed to go to a company called Okta. They also got compromised, unfortunately. And basically, we're trying to get passwordless authentication. So you have biometrics and things like that. But to do that, that company that we wanted to hire, they basically use Okta single sign-on. So there's never a foolproof. So best thing, if you don't want to have a PhD in encryption, just change your password every 90 days if you can, at least for the important stuff, and change them around, and don't put anything related to your personal or business life. You can have the name of a mountain someplace with some digits and crazy characters, but you have to also remember your password, obviously. So 2FA is not 100%, MFA is not 100%. And you notice that these happens on big tech emails because they're already basically hacked. So if you use a big tech technology, you will be much more prone to these kind of attacks. I'm not saying if you don't use a big tech technology, it won't happen, but you can reduce the incident rate by over 90%.
Let's talk about the biometrics as well. How do you feel about face recognition, fingerprints? Does that keep us safe?
Yes, so there's a couple of ways. There's the ones that you have on your device. Suppose what we do, because sometimes people say, I don't want to put my fingerprint. Well, then you're going to have to remember your username and your password every time you log in. And we're lazy. We don't want to put 20 digits every time. Plus, on these phones, I mean, I have a crooked finger. I can type the wrong thing, and after 3 times, it will lock you out for brute force. So I tell everyone, at least when you buy Sekur and you download the app after you bought it, just say yes to the biometric for the fingerprint. We don't even do full biometric. Because what's happening in our case, when you put your fingerprint, it's really the fingerprint is based on the device, it doesn't go to us. So we don't record any of it. And when you log out of the app, when you uninstall the application, all of that data is completely gone. So in this case, I encourage people to do their thumbprint or finger. I would use both hands, so you register both hands on your device. And it's the least intrusive way, unless you want to every time type in a username and a password, and you will get frustrated because sometimes you're going to type the wrong thing, and because it's hashed, you don't know which digit you type wrong. So it gets really frustrating, right? And you just have to accept a certain level, but that's from your device. So first, if you have Sekur, for example, you type your username and password. The password needs to be a really complex one if you can. Then you register, and it tells you in Samsung, for example, it tells you, do you want to register in the Samsung password thing? I say yes, and then I put my fingerprint. iPhone has the same thing. As you know, I'm more prone to buying a South Korean made phone, as we discussed last time, because none of the parts are made in China. There were stories about iPhone way back. You know, it happens all the time that the brand new iPhone, for the first 30 days, all of the iCloud data and photos went to China directly. So I don't want to scare people who have $2,000 phones, but I prefer a phone made in Korea where down to the microchip is made in a country that is not hacking the entire United States.
Right. Well, that's a topic of conversation that will continue in our next segments. Well, let's talk about some of your services and the products you offer and the privacy component. It is Switzerland Day where you are, but talk about how it's ingrained in your society and it's also ingrained in your products.
Well, our products, first of all, are stored, all the data. We have essentially a secure communication platform. So email, messaging, data backup, password, etc. We store everything in Switzerland in our own servers. So that's important. I was just with a lawyer a couple hours ago going over all of the data privacies and everything as we're uplisting, hopefully, to NASDAQ. And part of the due diligence was that. And she was amazed, basically. So we basically store everything in our own server. We don't use any third-party hosting. That's one. It's in Switzerland, which has the data privacy laws the strictest in the world. So what we do is we have secure email, for example, where you can send somebody a secure send email using secure send on the webmail or on our secure mail app, where the recipient basically receives an email from you, Anna, and then it says, Anna sent you something, click here to read it. And then they read it, they click on it. You can also add a lot of attachments, and they don't need to register to our system to do that. They don't need to create anything fancy, and they can secure reply. That guarantees you full privacy within the server environment, because the data doesn't go away to somebody else who has an encryption key and they have to decrypt. It's all within our own server, just like the old BlackBerry. With Messenger, we never ask for your phone number. So you register with a username and password. You can message someone that doesn't have Sekur as well. If you have their mobile or email, we offer now 25 countries where you can send a text to and say, hey, chat with me. So we have self-destruct timers. We have a lot of good stuff. We basically have data privacy in our blood. Every time we create a function, the first thing we do is we say, how can I make it that I don't want to give away that kind of info? How can I make it that the customer has all of the privacy, the best privacy as they use this function? So really the culture of the company is privacy. Besides the fact, there's many things that we do, like people don't have access to this, don't have access to that. Our entire being of thought process is, how can I have the most privacy? If I create a function, I want to make sure it has privacy in mind. And of course, our user base, we care about our people. And yes, August 1st, Switzerland Day, and hopefully maybe Privacy Day one day. I should probably apply to the Swiss Confederation and say, hey, can we make August 1st Privacy Day as well? I'm going to try that one day. But yeah, so privacy is like ingrained in our constitution, and we produce these solutions for people to have the full privacy with no big tech data mining. Obviously, we don't data mine you. We have no access to your stuff either. So it's important to know that.
Great. And they're fantastic products, and always happy to be speaking with you because we're trying to help change the mindset of people. Privacy is really best understood when it's been breached, right? When you've had an attack against your data. So you're trying to prevent that for customers, everyday people like myself, or big businesses, big corporations out there. So you're doing good work.
It's like insurance, you want to buy it before you get robbed, and this is the same way. People are stealing your identity, so that's the best thing you can do, is get a product that respects that privacy and security. So, that's what we're all about.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us again, and go celebrate with your friends and family. Happy Switzerland Day.
Thank you. And as we say, Goodsly, so that means like hello. So
Goodsly.
Take care.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you all for watching.
SKUR, the true solution for your digital privacy and security. SKUR is a private and secure messaging and email solution hosted in Switzerland, using proprietary military-grade encryption and Swiss privacy laws, giving you true privacy. SKUR doesn't collect or sell your data and doesn't require your phone number or any personal data that hackers target. You can message and email non-secure users privately without the need for others to download SKUR. Visit SKUR.com. Regain and protect your privacy today.
Coastal Capital focuses on equipment-based lending, lines of credit, and working capital. If we didn't have partnerships and trust, nothing would move forward. We like to get to know the core of the client. Coastal Capital is financing you can trust.
SKUR, the true solution for your digital privacy and security. SKUR is a private and secure messaging and email solution hosted in Switzerland, using proprietary military-grade encryption and Swiss privacy laws, giving you true privacy. SKUR doesn't collect or sell your data and doesn't require your phone number or any personal data that hackers target. You can message and email non-secure users privately without the need for others to download SKUR. Visit SKUR.com. Regain and protect your privacy today.
PetVivo is developing a disruptive tool to manage osteoarthritis in horses, cats, and dogs. And with me is the CEO, John Lai, to explain where you're at. I know you've had a lot of recent developments, including a lot of kind of executive appointments lately that has seemed to really kind of jumpstart the company and done a lot. So bring me up to date.
Well, thank you. So the first thing is we signed a exclusive distribution agreement with MWI Animal Health. They're a wholly owned subsidiary of AmerisourceBergen, very large corporation. They do about $5 billion a year in veterinary sales in North America. And the agreement is not just for distribution. It actually has multiple components. One is the educational aspect to the veterinary doctors. They have a division called Sekur. So we'll be working on a whole series of educational videos and informational videos to the veterinary doctors on how to look at osteoarthritis differently than what they learned in veterinary school. Because in veterinary school, when they learn that you'd make a diagnosis of osteoarthritis is that it's a lifetime of NSAIDs and other types of treatments that are targeted at more symptomatic issues, while our product is unique in the sense it's an intra-articular injection that treats the root cause of osteoarthritis, which is the bone-on-bone contact and wearing away. So once we get that message out there, it will really help drive the sales team. Internally, we had 4 salespeople, and they were all very seasoned, 25 plus years, managing hundreds of salespeople. And the intent is to convert them into manufacturer's rep, because MWI has 400 territorial managers and 300 in-house salespeople. So we'll be supporting and educating those people as part of training. So, and they do business with at least probably 90% of all the vets in the United States.
Yeah, that's a real game-changing partnership that you have with them.
Yeah, so it's a promotional, it's a true partnership. It's not just a distribution.
Yeah. And so, and you started a nonprofit too.
Correct. It's called PetVivoCares.org. So it's targeted to donate product to nonprofits that are out there helping people and animals. So, you know, we've been contacted by some horse rescues that are used to help children with autism, because the studies have shown when they ride horses, they're actually able to communicate better and function much better in society. It makes them feel comfortable and so on. So I think that study was done at Utah State. So I think that's going to be one of our first donations. We set aside 500 syringes, and we're telling worthy nonprofits to submit their application and explain why and what they're doing to help people and animals. And that also provides an opportunity for passionate people about animals to see the success of the product. And it also gives us access to volunteer veterinary doctors that we may not get to right away, but they'll be able to use the product and see the success and improvement of the animal.
Thank you so much.
Perfect.
Come back in.
Thank you.
Thank you.